I'm Dr. Stephen Trudeau, otherwise known as the Psych on the Bike. I believe that just surviving, just getting by is not good enough, that we are destined to actually thrive. And that's what I'm on a mission to do. Not only thrive for myself, but to find out from other thrivers who are succeeding at life what it is they do exactly that helps them to live a glorious life. Come with me on this journey as we check out some pretty interesting people.
Other side.
Two worlds.
Yeah. So for you, Suz Montgomery, in this garden, this beautiful garden.
I love our gardens.
Isn't this a great garden? Why was this garden created?
The garden was created. I obviously am a teacher of older adults. My average age student is between 80 and 107, but I do have some students as young as 30s that are in rehab. I teach in skilled nursing facilities, which we refer to in the language as SNFs, NSF.
Okay.
And it's usually a residential facility, and it's full-time nursing care for somebody that needs additional help before they go home, or they have too much care that they need and the families can't bring them home.
Oh.
So I am brought in as more or less as the educator, and I do educational programs. I also have a nonprofit agency called the Extended Learning Academy, where I have people that work for me doing somewhat similar to what I do, but the different applications. For example, maybe art classes, music classes. I do the educational components. We have cooking classes. We have a full curricula.
Yeah.
And this is through the city of Ventura. We got a grant, a community block grant, and so we're able to teach at like senior centers, and we teach our classes there. And they get to still be vital and engaged in living.
So the seniors are thriving, the plants are thriving.
Yeah, we're all thriving. I'm thriving.
And you're thriving. And this is
Yeah.
why I wanted to interview you, because you have also had an extraordinary challenge in your life fairly recently.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a hiccup. Yeah.
And yet you're still there. You're still in it.
Why wouldn't I be?
Because so many people fall into despair fairly
no.
quickly. And yet that's one, again, I want our audience to be able to learn something from you, is how to face these challenges without
Falling into the pit?
Yeah, falling into the pit.
Pretty
And that's,
easy.
where our questions. Here's number
Okay,
one.
okay.
Get rid of that
There
one.
you go. All right, it's out of here.
How do you define thriving?
Just by living my life the best way I possibly can every day, like not knowing what tomorrow would be and not even looking forward to that. I just live in the present.
That's really the power of now.
Well, it is, and I mean, that's just personal. I mean, before I lived in, a planner, my cell phone. I have an agenda. I'm a very busy person. I mean, and I've got a full agenda. I book out months in advance for appointments, and I'm busy politically, community activism. I do a lot of things besides running a nonprofit and teaching full time.
Yeah.
So by not falling into the pit, which would have been, okay, let's just lay in bed and wait for the inevitable and I'll die.
Right.
Well, it was kind of like, no, I don't think so. I've got a full schedule. I'm going to disappoint a lot of people if that happens. And after 12 years at Catholic school, Jesuit, I would think that probably there was no other options other than to live my life the way I was living it when I was diagnosed, which was fully and completely. I wanted at first to back off into it because going through chemo, and I'm in pretty bad shape. I look like I'm in pretty bad shape, but
I think you look beautiful.
I think I'm in great shape emotionally to deal with this, and I think that's really, I'm resilient. I'm really tough.
Okay.
And I think my seniors keep me alive. My life keeps me alive. My family keeps me alive. Got a great husband and kids, and I've even got great grandchildren. I'm that old. See, that's why you can't tell how old I am with that bald head.
You took the gray off.
There's nothing there. And I think I'm going to keep it this way too. I'm going to stay bald. Only it's easy. So when I move into one of these facilities, when I'm old enough, I'm not old enough.
It's easy to wash your hair, huh?
I don't have to do anything. It's wonderful. It is such a free. It's freeing.
How much time did I spend this morning getting my hair ready?
None. Did you? Did you spend a lot of time? don't have to do that.
I have to do the wash and the blow dry and all.
Oh, I don't do any of that stuff. No, there's no products here. It's nothing I can do with a bar soap. It's really, it's so simple. It's again trying to simplify my life.
Yeah.
At the same time, my life is complicated because of all my activity, but I'm simplifying my life. The minute I've got this little prompt that I use. I turn off the ignition in my car, and that's when the public life kind of slows down.
Okay.
And that's my prompt to, okay, now we need to focus in on other things, which is, what am I making for dinner? Got to call and check on the kids or the grandkids or something like this, and just maybe take some time for myself. Monday nights, or if I'm not at city council, Monday nights are sitting there reading. I mean, I just have to take my own special time. And if I don't, whatever.
Right. Well, speaking of that special time, what is your daily spiritual tradition?
Well, spiritual is a hard one to define because that means so many different things for so many people.
For you?
Probably quiet time when I drive to work.
Okay.
No radio.
There you go.
Just quiet time to reflect on what I'm going to be doing that day. What are my lesson plans for my students that day? What am I going to do to make me feel better about my world? What am I contributing? What am I doing for me?
Yeah.
And what am I doing for me is I'm going to have some special time for myself. It's almost meditative.
Yes.
And it's hard to explain that unless you do it.
Right.
And on the way home, after being in the throes of society all day long and juggling 4,000 balls at the same time, no radio, got to listen to myself, got to listen to my inner self. And then before I go to bed at night, I try to remember to say a prayer for everybody that I've lost. Now, first of all, you got to understand that my average age students are 80, 90 years old.
So you've lost a lot of them.
Oh my God. I lose everybody every day. I come to work and I'm going, okay, who did I lose today? Yeah. And then since I'm Italian, I've got a lot of old Italian culture. If I see, and this was ingrained in childhood, if I see a black crow on the roof, that means I've lost somebody. I mean, this is Italian culture.
Yeah, sure.
But it's kind of an interesting thing. And I know it's folklore, but usually it's right, which is kind of scary, but I do a lot for myself.
But this is part of the whole cycle of life, and not just idolizing the youth culture, but actually we can thrive our entire lives right up until the very last moment.
We do.
Maybe when we do step off this planet, that's an extension of thriving.
It is, and thriving should go on, like you say, for an eternity. You're leaving pieces of yourself behind. Yeah. And by what I do in my daily living with my students and my work here and my education, I'm leaving pieces because I'm leaving memories, and I'm leaving. Then that will continue to go. Yeah. After I'm gone.
Absolutely.
So it's a legacy, I guess.
There you go. It's a legacy. So. What is the best book you've ever read that you recommend to other people, like a personal growth and development book?
Wow, there's so many because I read constantly.
I bet. Yeah.
I've got 23 on my Kindle list right now. I'm reading. I don't know if it's growth and development, but it's something I've learned a lot from, and this is probably going to really scare the hell out of your audience. I like The Prince.
The Prince?
Machiavelli.
Oh.
My nature being Italian, my culture being Italian, but Machiavelli was it's a great primer for how to deal with people and populations. Yeah. And Machiavelli has always got a bad rap as being the ultimate controller and manipulator. But if you turn that inside out, it actually is really good life lessons that you can learn and apply to your daily living.
There you go.
So it's actually one of my favorite books. I'm reading it for the 9th time, bears to say. But it's just something I read, I'll read any genre. The only genre I don't read is probably, maybe science fiction, because it's not real to me. Yeah. I mean, I live in a real world. I'm a realist.
Well, artists create their work of art because they have something to say.
Correct.
And that's why I encourage people to read as part of thriving. Thriving means really investing in yourself. And where better to get concentrated wisdom than from a book? I mean, you can pour years of your life wisdom into a couple hundred pages.
How many people read anymore?
Well, they read a lot of blogs and they read their texts, but to sit down and read a book, to hold it in your hand.
It takes a lot of time because it's concentrated learning or education. I read 20 newspapers a day.
Wow.
And I do that, and I read foreign newspapers as well. And I watch also foreign news because I'm a news hound, but I also use that information in my teaching applications because I try to keep my students current with the real world situation of what's really going on there without inflicting my views on them. Right. And I register my students to vote. They all vote in every single election.
Good.
And I do all the research using the League of Women Voters as a resource because they don't have, political sides in the game. And I bring politicians in to meet my students. I bring the outside world in to meet my students.
Very nice.
Well, you have to.
Who is the most important person that keeps you thriving?
That's a tough one.
I didn't come here for easy questions.
Yeah, I guess not. The most important person to keep me thriving is probably my support system of husband, kids, grandkids, community. Yeah. Probably not one. It's an amalgam.
Yeah.
It's all of them that keep me going. The husband obviously keeps me going because John's he's a writer and he's a journalist and he's a very fine journalist. But he's also a very empathetic man. His former wife died of cancer too, so it took a little courage for him to be able to go on this journey with me.
Yeah.
And he'd had a tough time at first.
Yeah.
He was reliving it, but I think he's managed to master that. He's my support system when I go home, and my dog.
Okay.
My dog's great. I got a great dog.
There you go.
But the kids are great.
Yeah.
And it's my community.
And the grandkids and the great-grandkids.
I created something that's kind of unusual. It's called the Camp Chemo. It's in the chemo room where I get my infusions every week for my chemo, when I go in for the cancer treatments. And it's at the hospital. And the first 3 times I went in there, I was really horrified by how grim it was. It was like a concentration camp. There was like 15 chairs, all recliners hooked, in a row, and people getting infused. Very sad people. People with their face in their hands, but no one was visiting them. And I thought, well, let's change the culture again. So I had my girlfriend make a huge sign that says Camp Chemo, very beautiful sign, but it was lively, blue and white.
Yeah.
We put it on the wall, we got permission, and now all my friends that come to visit me when I'm in chemo, because I'm accessible, are visiting other people.
Oh,
we
nice.
have chemo camp counselors.
Oh my God.
And these are all volunteers. We have a whole list of people
You're
that come in.
always giving.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
I know, but
You do it?
Yeah, but it's
Why not?
This is what allows us to thrive. This is why I want to share this.
This is why
information
I
with people.
live, is to do. I mean, I'm not here to take. I'm here to give it back and give more.
Right.
But this is really my life. This is the way I've been my whole life. I've never done anything personally for myself. I get my joy by giving to other people.
That's what altruism is.
Well, that's the way I was raised.
Which historical figure most influenced you in your life?
Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson. Okay, well, talk about a gardener.
Yeah,
he planted a lot of gardens.
He was a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
Fine appreciation for food and wine. Very intellectual, stimulating mind. The Library of Congress was his collection.
Yeah.
That's where it came from. Very open-minded, very inquisitive nature. Just a Renaissance man. Somebody that probably before that never was. I mean, he followed his own path, and I think I probably follow my own path. I don't pattern myself after anyone. I chart my own.
But we can be influenced by.
I do, but I was always, as a child, I was influenced by Thomas Jefferson because probably his intellectualness.
There you go. What personal creed do you live by?
Give to the world the best that you have, and the best will come back to you.
Oh, say it again.
Give to the world the best that you have, and the best will come back to you.
That's awesome.
I
love that.
I do that every day.
Right.
I've got little signs in my office on that.
People should create a personal creed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's almost like goal setting.
Yeah.
And it's something that reminds you of what your purpose here in life is. You're supposed to be doing this for other people.
Right. What one life skill would you teach your younger self if you had the chance?
Probably to learn more, get more education, be more compassionate too, but probably more education.
Okay.
I really regret that I didn't go on to get a doctorate or anything. I mean, and my biggest regret is that I didn't become an attorney.
Oh.
But the game ain't over. I'm going to retire probably in 3 more years at age 70, and then I'm going to enter law school. That's the goal. So I have a goal beyond cancer and chemo.
A goal beyond cancer.
A goal beyond cancer is to enter law school. It's something that I've always wanted to do because I've got a really good memory. And I think by giving that kind of a service or working maybe in a district attorney's office or maybe just putting out a gray law shingle, I'd like to do gray law.
That would be nice.
Which nobody protects our seniors, so that would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
that's a goal.
Is there a self-soothing skill that you use most frequently when you're feeling a little off?
Hot bath. Used to be a glass of wine, maybe just to wind down at the end of the day, or scotch. Can't do that anymore because you can't have alcohol with cancer now, but maybe later.
Yeah.
Probably just to be kinder to myself and forgive myself.
There you go.
Because during the day we get so rushed, we kind of get caught up in this whole, almost like a hamster wheel.
Right.
And that was the name of one of my blogs, was Life on the Hamster Wheel.
Life on the Hamster Wheel.
And then that stopped when I got cancer.
Yeah.
So
you had to step off.
I get off the wheel.
Yeah. So, bucket list item.
Bucket list item. Besides law school?
Yeah, besides law school.
Besides,
more fun than law school.
Well, no, that's fun to me. That's sick. I know that's sick. But it's not sick to me. I really think law school would be that's a bucket thing. Maybe get a pilot's license.
Ooh.
I want to fly.
Ooh.
I want to fly.
That would be cool.
I don't know if they'll give a pilot's license to somebody of my age, but that's a thought.
Well, you can certainly go up and grab a hold of that wheel.
Well, at least, yeah, maybe just let me fly once.
Do a few barrel rolls.
I've jumped out of planes, so that
I haven't done that yet.
Oh, you got to do that. You got to do that. I've done it 7 times. Seven times just to test my mettle to see if I had the courage to do it. Well, the worst was the first. The other ones were kind of fun.
Yeah.
But bucket list, travel more.
Yeah.
I like to travel. I like different cultures. Not big bucket list, simple stuff.
How would you like to be remembered? What is your legacy?
Ooh, my legacy. She gave more than she got.
Ooh.
Maybe just as giving people a better quality of life by giving them, like my seniors, maybe remembered by them or their families of, paying attention to them, the people that have no voices, the invisible people.
Yeah. And
creating laws and redoing laws, and ordinances, which I write, to make it a better world and a better environment and a better community where we live. And here comes a plane that's really going to screw up your audio.
It's okay, they'll go by soon.
Okay. Shoot.
So, what piece of wisdom or skill would you like the rest of the world to know?
I don't know. It sounds very almost too altruistic, but I think pay attention to the people that don't have a voice. Pay attention because they have so much to say. The people that don't have a voice are disenfranchised. And basically, since I work with seniors, I would say seniors. Listen to the people that have been here before. Learn from them. Learn the life lessons. And listen to what they have to say.
It would be absolutely tragic, and it has been tragic, to allow this wisdom that has been collected and gleaned over decades, many decades,
True.
to evaporate when a person goes
there's
away.
So much there.
And so for the seniors, I keep encouraging them, please write it down. Please tell me your story.
Well, not only that, let's take it a step further. In one of our class lessons, we write our own obituaries.
Wow.
Yeah, and which is really amazing because you don't want your kids to have the last word. Yeah. You want to have the last word. You get some control back at the end of your life if you write your own obituary.
Write your own obituary.
And then the kids,
I love that.
And that's the kids also because the kids never knew you as anything older. They know you as mom or dad.
Yeah.
And our kids, I've got students that are in their 90s. And they are so, they're so, empowered, lack of a better word, by writing their own obituary. They get to reflect back at their life, and and it's a good memory for them.
I mattered.
Yes,
so
I count.
Erickson's last stage is the integrity.
Correct.
I don't want to despair. I want to feel like my life has indeed meant something.
It does.
And what is that integrity? And so you take stock of all of the contributions. And for some people, they're not worthy of monuments.
No.
But they are worthy of smelling of the flower.
Everyone matters. Everyone, and you can learn from everybody. Everyone has the capacity to teach.
Thank you.
Oh,
for spending this time with me.
Good to see you again.
Many blessings on your head.
Thank you. I need it. You can rub the head. Everybody does that. Devin, great job.